She is a prolific author with passion for counseling.
I am a mental health clinician.
Based in Boston, USA, Serah Muiruri's day-to-day life is helping those battling mental health.
I went through challenges, interpersonal violence, and that is what precipitated the idea of writing.
From culture shock to family breakages, bills, life maju can be tough and can throw one off balance, with some finding themselves in the streets.
I find women are more resilient in the adaptation process in America than men.
Learn more on how to cope with stress abroad from the village girl from Limuru.
So let's begin by just understanding. So exactly what do you do in Worcester, Massachusetts?
Well, I do quite a few things. I am, I want to say, a jack of many trades. I am, first and foremost, I'm very passionate about my community. I am, especially issues pertaining to women. I am a part of the leadership of some of the group community,
community leader.
So I do that. Above and beyond that, I'm also I'm a rehab counselor. I am a mental health clinician. So I work with people that have a various array of disabilities, mental health, brain injury, acquired brain injury, cognitive challenges. I'm also an author. I have authored quite a few, about 4 books. And the first one was authored in 2020, Limitless Success. It was a group effort. So that's how I got into authorship, even though I had a lot of ideas, but it never really came to fruition until during COVID. So that's when I decided, okay, I'm gonna participate in this project. That was my first book, Beautiful Limitless Success. And then just...
What is it about, just as it sounds?
Limitless success.
We can have limitless success.
Yeah, of course, we can have limitless success. And you know, sometimes people equate success to money. And my definition of success is a combination of a lot of things. Money cannot buy you happiness. And
It's true.
If you're rich and you're successful in that aspect, doesn't mean that you are rich in many other areas. The key is to have balance in your life, both socially, emotionally, psychological, materially, for you to be able to be empowered.
Then
the second one is empowered by resilience, a path to unstoppable growth. It also continues in with the same theme. Empowered by resilience is the epitome of success. Life is always going to give us punches. And Mzungu anasema we have to roll with the punches.
I like the way you put it. Life will always give us punches.
Always punches. But again, we have to roll with the punches. Because if you don't roll and obviously get stuck, life is still gonna happen no matter what. So empowered by resilience helps you to kind of bounce back. It's not about getting stuck. It's about how you get through those challenges. And when you emerge on the other side, it's a very good feeling. You feel empowered.
And Sarah, one thing I like about your books, they seem to be interrelated. One thing leads to another. And then I'm seeing breaking chains. Just sounds like a continuation. Eh?
Absolutely. And this was the third book, Breaking Chains, actually. In our community, we do face a lot of interpersonal violence, even though we may not even know it. And sometimes people don't know what signs or symptoms to look at when you're going through it. Sometimes it's and my definition of interpersonal violence, a lot of people mistake that for domestic violence, whereas domestic violence is just an aspect of interpersonal violence. So when you're having an engagement with somebody, and usually there are people we know, and sometimes you have a falling out, things don't work out as good as was intended, and then matusi inaanza. And sometimes that can get us very, very down, especially in the diaspora where life can be a little bit tricky than back home. Back home we are very social-oriented, community-oriented. In America, life can be very lonely, and especially you have the same punches I was talking about. There is work. there is family, there is acculturation. But over time, you get to adapt, and that's the goal. But breaking chains was actually born out of a lived experience. I went through challenges, interpersonal violence, and that is what precipitated the idea of writing a book.
Does it sound like for some who say, you know, I can't succeed, o kwetu tu tulizaliwa hivi, unajua kwetu hata hakuna mtu ameenda campus, kwetu hakuna mtu ameenda majuu, kwetu hakuna mtu anaendesha gari. You can break the chain.
Absolutely.
And be the first one to drive the car.
Exactly. You can break the chain. You do not have to be stuck where you are.
Then there is mental health awakening.
Yes. Mental health awakening is my baby. It's just the last book I published in June.
It's new. It's
very, very new.
Fresh.
I am super excited about this book because mental health is a passion. Again, as you can tell with the other books, because even interpersonal violence, there is a bridge between that and mental health. So what happens is sometimes we don't even know what mental health, what challenges are facing us. And sometimes as a community, we have that stigma about mental health. Sitakunywa mandawa, sitaki kwenda hospitali juu that, but I will be easy to go to the hospital because of a headache. It's the same body. So you have to also make sure that you are awakening your mental health because it all starts from here. If this is not working, okay,
this is not working,
everything else breaks.
Serah, you really educated us a lot during the Daring Abroad Investment Forum on 2nd August. So you are a rehab counselor.
Correct.
And you told us, while uko majuu, you will not invest properly if you are not, mentally okay.
Yes.
If something has gone wrong. What are some of these things that can go wrong ukiwa majuu?
A lot of things can go wrong. First and foremost, sometimes if things, like I said, you have expectations. And if nobody comes here without that keen interest of, I'm going majuu to excel. And then you get here and life throws those punches at you. First and foremost, you land, I'm in Massachusetts, you land in Boston. And the culture shock. Sometimes if you come in the winter time, is the worst time because you get hit with that cold. And you also have to navigate through other challenges. When you come in, sometimes our accents. You go to work, by the time you even get that first job, it takes time. And then down the lane, you're also figuring out, for instance, other people come here that were already accomplished back home. And then those times actually face a lot of challenges.
Mtu alikuwa bank manager, anakuja hapa anafanya menial jobs.
Correct.
Anafanya factory work, manual work.
Exactly. And especially, I find women are more resilient in the adaptation process in America for some reason than men. It hits them hard. But because the jobs that may be readily available for people is in human services. And maybe our men are not used to caregiving jobs.
So women can do that.
Exactly. And they are okay. You adapt quickly and boom.
Also, I'm told women discuss their problems.
Men internalize.
Men internalize. It boils inside.
Exactly. Hence why mental health, we have to nurture our...
Women are also good at multitasking.
Correct. Yes. Women are good at multitasking and also asking questions and talking and asking, getting to know, figuring things out.
So the other things I'm told, losing a job, for example, here, unlike maybe where we come from, things are so strict, You mess up, you're gone.
Correct.
No shortcuts. Even running a business, compliance, no shortcuts. Your business will be closed because you've not paid tax on time. You've not credit rating. That you'll not even get a house to rent because your credit rating is bad.
Exactly.
So all those then you find yourself probably you're jobless, you have no business, you're on the streets.
Exactly. Sometimes also people, and I don't like to focus on the negative. I always like to talk about the positive stuff. But the reality is our people also can complicate matters. Sometimes we may not be be able to give information freely to people that are oncoming, because for some people that have been here for a long time, it becomes second nature to them. And sometimes we do not have that forgiving spirit, because that knowledge that someone should know, it's common sense to you may not be common sense to me. So I always tell people, please extend grace to people, and let's approach it from a point of compassion. And then there is another segment of, or a group of people that also come here are thinking that life is just the continuation as it was in Kenya. But everything, most of the things are very different.
Yeah, so much has been said about family breakages. How serious is that? Yeah,
it is I'm a statistic of that. It happens. And then pressures of America can cause those personality changes. You are once good friends, but the normal stresses of life, because of the job that we do and the expectations as well, because when you have a house, you have a mortgage, you have bills to pay, somebody may be going to work 24 hours, you don't see each other. Then when they come back, it's over time, you become like strangers. They spend so much time at work, so they are more comfortable in that environment.
That family unit is really under threat.
It's really, it disintegrates. But you have, again, to be, everything you do in America, and I'm suspecting even back home, you have to be intentional about it. You have to make that life balance. Yes, you have to work, but at the same time, you have to manage your time
and
wisely.
Communicate. The couples, families should have good communication.
Exactly.
Communicate well to each other.
Communicate well to each other. And then also remember, Bon Alex, when we come here, we have families back home. So not only are you working to support your family here,
also pressure from home.
Pressure from home.
Wow.
For instance, when I came here, I came young to go to school. I had siblings that I also wanted to help. I became a mother to many, not only my own siblings, other people that from our community. And by the time I realized, my time was just focused on that, until you realize, okay, some things are not going so well because we neglect ourselves at the expense of other people. And that's our culture. That's who we are as people. Those things can still be done. I still believe that we can help somebody, but also have a balance in how far, and instead of taking it all, teach them how to fish. And not be the one that's fishing for them.
So, Serah, as we conclude, going into the last phase of this interview, you found yourself there, and we covered a story of Kenyans who found themselves in the streets here in Massachusetts.
I saw that actually, yes.
So you found yourself there, and the lesson we learned and the people we talked to is, don't joke. Anybody can find themselves there, and don't even laugh at that one who is already on the streets. So you found yourself there. How do you handle that? Someone has mental health and you're a rehab counselor. What's the remedy?
The remedy is compassion. We gotta have to extend some grace to people, and also know the reality of dismantle that stigma about mental health. There are resources here, and let's come together as a community, because there are so many resources that person may not even be privy to. And also, familiarity is key, because I may find a brother that's on the streets, a brother that's drowning in alcohol or mental health, and that connection, the moment we connect, I may be the savior of that person. But just driving by because, it's in Kenya mwingine, they are on the street. It's not enough. It's not about food. It's about what we can do as a community. It's a real issue, Alex.
So who should be the best counselor? Where do we begin? You talked about what? A doctor first, diagnosing. So is it that systematic? Because you may not have all those people available.
Exactly.
Many of us are maybe family members, and we want to handle as family members.
Exactly.
Like for you now, are you competent? Is it your profession, like to diagnose? Where does
I have knowledge of what could be happening, but also it takes corroboration. I may not be able to be an expert. I'm not a doctor of psychiatry. So, but as a community, we should have those resources. What we need to do is let's talk about it in our church gatherings. Let's talk about it in our various forums. We have so many WhatsApp forums. We have non-profit organizations in this local area. We do have an organization like UHAI, which also is they reach out to people that are in dire need in certain areas. So what we need to do is come together as a community. Also, let's talk and teach people about what exactly is going on.
So
knowledge is power.
What I needed to understand is, so it's having a mental health problem. Is it a medical, is it a health issue where you need to be diagnosed first?
Absolutely, yes. But you know what though? You know your family member very well. Like, if you know that this person is struggling, that's not rocket science. Yes, you know something is wrong. You may not attach a label to what is going on, but you know something is off. Not only your family member, your friends too.
So those people finding themselves drinking or taking drugs, whatever, probably that they have an underlying problem.
Correct.
But maybe then those problems cannot be solved.
I don't believe that there is a problem that cannot be solved in this sense. We talk about trauma, and trauma is the root cause of so many challenges. And your trauma may not necessarily be my trauma, even though we may be experiencing the same exact issues. The other piece to it too is that the resilience that we are talking about. Your resilience and my resilience may not be in the same level. So what we need to do as a community is, it doesn't take long to just let somebody know that, okay, my wife, my husband is not, it doesn't look like they're the same person. If you suspect that challenges are happening, take that phone call. Confide. We are so many out there with this background.
It can be solved through talking. Have you had success stories where you counseled someone out and they were okay later?
Yes, there are so many stories. As a life coach, I encounter a lot of challenges with people, especially women. Just the other day, I was talking to somebody that was on the verge of, it's rather unfortunate, they were on the verge of committing suicide.
Oh, no.
Out of domestic violence that they were experiencing in a certain town in Kenya. We talked, and I keep following up with her. And eventually, she was able to leave that toxic environment. And remember, you're not leaving the person, but you have to make sure that you are self-preserving.
You're not within that environment.
Correct. Because the more you stay in that environment, the more it drowns you, it sinks you, it sinks you to even more challenges. So we're going to have to make sure that if there is an ounce of sign or that something is wrong, it's not going on. Something is wrong and things are not going well, it's very important for you to act. Delayed response can entangle more and bring more problems.
Now, a case study, a wife or a fiance or a girlfriend then left me, then I've gone into depression, I can't handle it. How would you manage that?
It's
it's called heartbreak.
Heartbreak. I went through that. I lived that experience, and I can talk about it through my own lens of what I did.
What did you do?
It was very difficult, and breaking chains is actually a focus of the interpersonal violence that we talked about. However, forgiveness is a powerful tool. And if you forgive, then again, extend the grace to even the person, the abuser, because you don't know what they were going through. And like I said, trauma is real, and trauma can bring on a lot of challenges. And for instance, if you came here, you're young, I was young, you don't know what, they also had responsibilities just like I had. So we go back to that original point that we talked about. Your priorities may not be that relationship by default because you don't know. You don't even know that that's what's going on. But you also have, in order for you to give other people 100%, you have to bring yourself to that level yourself.
Now, some say, I mean, let them know you are not happy. For example, a different scenario I'm going to give you. You are saying compassion, but some families, and many families go through this, Sarah. You have someone who is abusing drugs or alcohol, other problems. then they are probably even taking things from the house, from your mother's house to sell, to buy alcohol. Or they're supposed to go to college, they are drinking their fees away, they didn't go. And you keep forgiving them and saying, okay, nice, sorry, don't do it again. You show compassion. And they keep doing it, getting worse and worse.
Yes.
People erupt, and sometimes even they abandon them.
Of course, of course, yes.
Is it that easy?
It's not easy. I'm not saying it's easy. Even for myself in that situation, it's been a journey.
So how do you
10
deal
years.
with this repetitive? You are correcting, showing compassion, and it just keeps going on and on. They keep just going and drinking, stealing money to go drink.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, we gotta have to keep extending grace. Doesn't mean that you need to provide that. You cannot be the one, being a barrier or a challenge, a hindrance to their success. You can provide resources. You can tell them when they are sober, obviously, let's work towards this. But it has to be their choice.
It has to be
Remember that. It always has to come from them. You cannot save them until, remember, they are adults, full-grown adults. If they're making the wrong choices, just make sure that you're letting them know that I am not ready to deal with this. I will not deal with it because you're not.
Some say you stop being an enabler.
Correct.
Without sending them money, you're showing love, money, maybe you withdraw so that you are not an enabler.
Exactly. And do not act out of emotion. Emotional intelligence is very important. So you have got to stay neutral. Neutral in the sense that you're not reacting. Because sometimes when we react, you don't solve the problem. You are actually perpetuating more issues. So again, that's also it's compassion. That's make sure that we are not enabling them, but they also know where you stand. And also make sure that they also understand, because you're not condemning them, you're condemning the behavior. There has to be a distinction between those two. Otherwise, if you not have that separation, you will not be a help to them either.
Okay. Wow, what a fantastic interview. I'm sure viewers have been listening to you keenly, but they just probably are asking, so where was Serah born? How did she come to the US? Natoka wapi huko Kenya? Uko na village mahali?
Of course, I'm a village girl. I'm not a city girl. I am originally from Rimuru, a place we call Garariga. I'm sure you pass through our place all the time. And that's where I was born, in a small village called Bibirioni.
Okay. Which high school did you go to? They always feel nice saying, tulisoma na yeye.
I actually went to my high school. I went to a local village school. My parents were not able to send me to a boarding school, and I was very disappointed. I wanted to go to a boarding school. I went to through the old school system.
Okay.
I went to Form 1 through Form 4 secondary school in a local school called Garariga Girls.
Okay.
That's my roots. That's it's like my neck of the wood.
Then,
and then for A levels, from 5 and 6, I went to Miririki Girls High School in Nairobi, Wakabete.
Landing here?
Then I actually, I was in the last cohort of Form 6, so I cleared Form 6 in 1989. And that year, there was also the 844 system, that when the first group was maturing. So there was a really big group of us waiting to go to university. So it took time. And I obviously did not make to go to university in Nairobi. I came here instead. I was there after Form 6. I taught as an untrained teacher for 2 years, and in 1992 I taught in a school called I taught a little bit in Garariga Girls, which is where I went to school, high school, secondary school, and then I also taught in a school called Raleigh High School.
Which year did you come here?
1992.
1992.
August.
So, wow.
1992. Yes.
That's the year I was joining Moi University for my degree in information sciences.
Awesome.
So what have you trained in? What's your professional training?
My professional training is I have a background in psychology. That was my first degree. My bachelor's degree is in psychology and health studies. And then for my master's, that's where I went into mental health. Rehab counseling is in psychology. There are so many many dimensions.
yeah.
So my dimension is rehab counseling, and I work as a clinician with, like I said, with so many people with diverse challenges.
So are you employed or self-employed?
I am both.
Both, okay.
I
Wow.
work 40 hours and not necessarily 40 hours because my phone is always on. As a clinician, there is no stopping.
Yeah, you look happy, you live your passion.
Yeah.
I think you love what you are doing.
Yes.
And on that note, I think we want to say thank you so much for this interview. And what do you want to tell the viewers as we wind up?
I want to say thank you so very much for listening to me.
Your parting shot?
I just say, keep doing what you're doing, nurture your passions, get to where you need to be, because God did not put you in this world for no reason. Make sure you have your goals in life, and when you falter, you can always rise again. That's my message to the world.
When you falter, you can always rise again.
Yes.
Bye-bye.